Alright, well, let me start off by saying that I've got a lot to say here, so bear with me, just don't fall asleep. First of all, give it up for the newlyweds, huh? Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Alexis' brother, and for those of you who do know me, you know who you are, and that's okay too. And I don't even know where we can. Well, I guess I should start by saying some nice things about my sister's bride here. Alright, well, since I can remember, my sister's been my best friend. You know, she's the one person I can go to about pretty much anything, and I always have. She congratulates me when I do something right, and more importantly, she calls me out when I do something wrong, which is pretty often. And in fact, I'm sure she'll do it promptly after I'm done here. It's funny, nowadays anyone who knows us will tell you that Alexis is responsible and, you know, she always does the right thing. But this was not always the case, folks. You see, back in her formative years, Alexa was quite the meddling troublemaker. One story in particular that comes to mind is when she tricked me into saying my first F word, or fudge, if you don't know what I'm talking about, to our mom when we were just little kids. And, you know, I mean, not only did she trick me into doing it, you know, she like deviously crafted the situation where I was going to just walk up to my mom and say this word, and I did. And I got in trouble. And she probably laughed. But then Mom got wise to what she was doing, and she got in trouble, which is when I laughed. And, I mean, but point being, for good or ill, Alexis got quite the personality, and she always has. In all seriousness, though, she's everything you can want in a sibling and a human being. You know, she's completely honest and true, no nonsense. She's literally one of the best people I know. And she's someone who generally says what she means and means what she says, which is something that you don't find a lot these days. And you know, she may have a tendency to worry too much, but it's only because she cares. I mean, what can I say? The girl's got soul, right? And she's literally one of the best people I know, the real deal. That's how I knew that when I first heard about Glenn, I knew he had to be quite an upstanding gentleman. And he didn't disappoint. My dad kind of stole my thunder with the whole bed story. I mean, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it anyway.
The real way.
Alright, well, I've known Glenn for the better part of a decade now, and in that time he's become a friend and a brother to me, you know, a true and loyal compadre, if you will. And, you know, when the first time Alexa brought Glenn home to Hilton Head to meet my parents and myself, he was obviously pretty nervous, you know, as any guy can relate to, as he should be right now, because I'm about to tell an embarrassing story about him. But anyway, so she brought him home, we all went out to dinner, and everything was going fine. It was obvious that my parents dug him and everything like that. And after that, we went back to the house, and everything was going fine. You know, we were all up in the guest room hanging out, and Alexa was helping him get settled. And right as we were all about to call it a night and go our separate ways, Glenn decides to get up on the bed. And right when he does this, the thing flat out collapses on one side like a seesaw. And so we all have a good laugh at his expense, and then we essentially rebuilt the bed, and everything was fine and good. It seemed all in order, but just to make sure, Alexa, who weighed all of 100 pounds at the time, proceeded to jump on the bed for a good 30 seconds just to make sure it was back up to snuff, and it didn't fall apart or anything like that, so it was all good. And after this, Glenn decides to give it another try. So he makes his way over to the corner of the bed, and I swear to you, before he can even get his entire right butt cheek sat down on the corner of this bed, the thing just collapses to the ground yet again. And at this point, me and my buddy, who was over at the time, were writhing on the ground like hyenas, just like laughing so hard that we were crying. And I look over, and Glenn, despite all of the unfortunate business that has just happened to him, is right there with us laughing just as hard. And I remember thinking in that moment, this guy and I are going to get along just fine. He's good people. And I was right. Plus, he makes Alexa really happy, and I guess that's kind of important too. But, in all seriousness, their relationship is one of the best examples of love that I personally have ever had the pleasure of witnessing. And I honestly don't know where I would be today without both of them. But now I'm getting tired of hearing myself talk, as I'm sure all of you are too. So I'll wrap it up by saying, I guess the moral of the story is that life is short, and you can't overthink it. In the end, all you can really do is find someone you love and roll the dice. And as someone who doesn't really know his right from his left most of the time, it's good to see people like these two who truly have it figured out. So, Alexa and Glenn, may this be the first of many great days in a very long and happy marriage. Love you guys. Cheers.